It's Dan and Dago here, and I love me some whiskey. But this ain't no sour whiskey. We're drinking the good stuff today. Oh, some good proper number 12. It's Victory Whiskey, courtesy of Herbert. Picking the Bengals last week. I keep telling y'all, Herbert is the drink. Hold on. I got some receipts here. Don't you worry. Let me pull up my Dan and Dago book. He picked us for the Ravens. Loss. He picked us for the Pats. Loss. He picked us for the Vikings. Loss. And the Vikings stink. They just lost to the Lions. Broncos. Loss. What are we doing? We can't. Those with 4 more victories, we're sitting at the number 1 seed, and the AFC runs through SoFi. So, Hilberto, please, you cannot pick the Chargers ever again, but we'll see what he does later in the week for the matchup against the New York Giants. First, let's introduce our grand guest of the week, and it's a good one. Ryan Leaf will be joining the Compas on the beat. Charger fans know the former quarterback well for all the wrong reasons, but no one's perfect. Let's remember that. Ryan Leaf has a very cool story, and he's sharing it with the Compas. Make sure to check out Ryan Leaf's podcast, Bust, where he shares many interesting behind-the-scenes stories. And also make sure to subscribe to Compas on the Beat on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. After that, subscribe to Compas on the Beat on YouTube and give us a follow on Instagram. Come on, come find your Compas on the Beat. Now, it's time! Let's get to the best damn podcast in the universe! Play the music, Nando!
Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I am Fernando Ramirez, Chargers beat reporter for Sports Illustrated. With me, as always, is my co-host and my tag team partner, Gilbert Manzano, OC Register LA Daily News. What's up, bro?
What's up, Fernando? I didn't see you in Cincinnati for the Skyland Chili. You know, I got there. Was it late Saturday? And I was thinking,
tell the people what you ate for dinner.
I don't know. I was going to get to that. Can I just start the show by saying, I was going to say some good things about you, actually, Fernando. I was
I appreciate it.
I get to my hotel and people keep telling me to try the Skyline Chili in Cincinnati. And I'm like, nah, it's 10 p.m. I was debating for an hour. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to go. But if Fernando was here, I probably would have gone, have a buddy to tag along with. So you're the reason why I didn't try Skyline Chili in Cincinnati. So good to see you. So maybe do me a favor by not trying this chili, because they had a version of it at the Bengals press box at halftime, and it was I don't know. It's a unique, I guess, flavor. So it wasn't that bad, but I tried it. But interesting that Cincinnati is known for having chili on spaghetti.
Last year, when Jeff Miller from the LA Times and I, when we were there, they gave us chili dogs for halftime, and they actually weren't bad. It was from Skyline too. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like great. But I just remember everybody like at halftime, like running to the restroom. I just started laughing. I'm like, no, by the end of the game, everybody was running to the restroom, and I'm like, yep, there it is. So yeah, everybody's been telling us not to try it, but I just feel like it's one of those things that you have to try when you go to Cincinnati, kind of like when you go to New Orleans, the little pastries. I can't remember what the beignets. Yeah. So it's like
donuts, pretty much.
Like when you come to San Diego, you have to try the California burrito. It's like different things. Like you have to try it.
I feel like you've been making that up. Like you're trying to make it San Diego.
No, I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up.
Nobody else tells me from San Diego you got to try the California burrito. I feel like that's your thing.
You do. Because they're not from San Diego. I am.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
All right, that's actually a thing then.
No, it is. But Gilbert, let's talk real quick. Dan and Dago mentioned at the beginning that obviously the Chargers beat the Bengals, and he thinks that you had a lot to do with it. So that was pretty interesting. But Gilbert, just what was your biggest takeaway from Sunday's game?
Yeah, no, I'm glad that Dan and Dago thinks I have this power, this control of deciding Chargers outcome. So I'm kind of, I don't know, I guess, I take it as a compliment. So yeah, I am very powerful in that way. But yeah, kind of my takeaways of this game. First of all, we had some takeaways on the post-game show plug for Compas on the Beat, but they kind of, dive in a little deeper. And I might even write about this, but it's kind of a weird game where it kind of got lost, and then now, well, I guess I'll start with this. Justin Herbert had a great game, and a lot of the focus was on the 2-point conversion catch, and then the tackle that he made on Jesse Bates were two great plays, by the way. But it's getting to a point where we're getting used to these throws that Herbert is making. You kind of see the films the next day from the tape people who break down film, and they put out the clips on social media, and they keep showing Herbert throws. Like, I'm like, that one was really good. And, oh, that one was good too. And you kind of forget about it because the game was a roller coaster. But yeah, maybe we're starting to get used to it or taking it for granted. But some of those throws Justin Herbert was making on Sunday were sensational. Throws that you don't see on the run, stopping and getting back on balance and making throws 40, 50 yards down the field. Perfect strikes and tight windows to Keenan Allen or Mike Williams or Jalen Guyton. Great performance. You know, I think with Herbert, we forget that he's still a second-year guy, so he's going to have some up and downs like he had this year.
Yeah, no, totally agree, Gilbert. I mean, it's one of those things where I guess it's because we see him every single day, like you said, that like we're kind of like, oh wow, like look at this. But I mean, I guess we shouldn't take it for granted. I mean, you kind of see the way Herbert's growing, and yeah, he might struggle sometimes against good defensive coaches, but I think with time he's gonna get better in those situations. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, and I feel like that's the funniest part when some people are like, oh well, he can't go against these guys. Well, yeah, but he's still building, he's still getting better, he's still getting used to being in the NFL. That's the thing about when you're rookie of the year and you shatter all these records. Everybody expect and then also in one less game, everyone expects you to be even better the next year. But it's kind of like, hey, like remember, he's still a second-year player. He's still learning. He's still adjusting, and he's doing a great job. And really, I was really impressed. And Gilbert, my takeaway from this week is: are they finally going to let it fly? Are they going to let him finally start throwing down the field? Mike Williams, you could tell, is so comfortable when it comes to making those catches and everything, and even Jalen Guyton was able to get involved finally in the game, and that's the thing, when you're able to do that, throw down the field and kind of get them going, things change, Gilbert, and this offense looked unique this weekend. It looked like a high-powered offense. Why? Because you didn't just rely on the intermediate. You relied on on every single phase of the route running tree, and the Chargers really needed that this week.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you know, Staley kept talking about they need a fast start. They need to get ahead of the game because in Denver, man, he started at the 1 yard line. They were down 14-0. So when you're behind like that in the game, you can't do what you do in terms of a playbook. So now they finally got the game where they wanted it to be, and maybe give credit finally. But last time we gave credit to Joe Lombardi, we kind of jinxed them and it went downhill. But that was a very well called game by Joe Lombardi. And I guess maybe I'll take credit because I asked Staley about Joe Lombardi a week ago, and he's like, he's doing a great job. Okay, listen up right here. He's top 10 in this, top 10 in that, top 5 in this, top first in that, and I guess he proved that. You know, they did pretty well. The offense kind of they lit it up, and this is the third time they scored 40 points in a game. They did it against the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it's still kind of a weird offense, man. They'll light you up for 40, but the next game they'll have 10 points against Denver or New England or Minnesota or Baltimore. So yeah, it's just kind of the up and down of a first-year coaching staff with a new many players and a young quarterback. So overall, great performance. But we can't forget about the defense, man. That was the first time that defense really showed up, shut it down, and Joe Burrow had his moments. T. Higgins had his moment. Jamar Chase could have had a couple of touchdowns, but Michael Davis caught a break with the interception. But overall, for the most part, man, they brought the pressure. They held on stopping the run on Joe Mixon. So overall, it was probably one of the best performances, or maybe the best of the year.
And they can't let it. I mean, if this is what's going to happen now, this is the perfect time for this offense and this defense to get hot. If you're going to do it, you do it in December. That's when you really know what kind of a team you're going to have. So if these guys can get on a run and really, you got to get it going, especially this weekend. Honestly, this excuse me, this feels a little bit like a trap game, just because you have a short week. You play the Kansas City Chiefs, so the Chargers just need to stay focused. They need to be on their P's and Q's. The Giants are actually staying out in Tucson this week. So they left Miami. They're in Tucson. They're going to be in Tucson until I believe Saturday, and then Saturday they fly over into LA and obviously they play the Chargers on Sunday. So the Giants are out here. They're getting adjusted to the time and everything. So there's going to be no excuses on Sunday for the Chargers. I mean, from the looks of it, Daniel Jones is not going to go, and they're saying that who was their backup quarterback, Mike Glennon, that supposedly he might not be able to go. So you might see another a third string quarterback, Jake Fromm from the University of Georgia. So that's going to be interesting, Gilbert. But I mean, like we've said, the Chargers need to be on their P's and Q's this weekend, just because it is going to be a tough game no matter what. The Giants have a good defense, Gilbert. It's underrated a little bit. They've kept it close. I mean, last week they only allowed the Miami Dolphins to score 2 touchdowns. Obviously, Justin and Tua Tagovailoa are different quarterbacks and everything, but they definitely they need to be on it this weekend, because they could easily fall behind and just have one of those terrible performances like they've had in the past. But I think that they're showing us that this is they're a little bit of a different team than they have been in the past.
Yeah, Fernando, I want you to save some of those points and analysis for the preview show, man. You got to slow it down. We need a full breakdown of Chargers Giants that comes out on Thursday. But I'll just say this:
Yeah,
you can't overlook them. You don't want to look at the big KC game, Thursday Night Football, which is starting to feel like the game in 2018 at Arrowhead Stadium. This time will be at SoFi Stadium, so they can't overlook the Giants overall. But when it comes to Chargers and games they're supposed to win or need to win, when players are out or they're at home, they haven't proven to be trustworthy just yet. So let's just leave it at that, and we'll really break it down tomorrow.
yeah, exactly. So let's head over now to Week 14 preview, Gilbert. There's some good games coming up this weekend. You got Baltimore at Cleveland. Gilbert, who you got?
Baltimore at Cleveland.
And Baltimore just came off of that loss against
Steelers.
The Steelers, and it was that on 2. But did you hear why John Harbaugh said that the reason why he went for it is because he had almost no defensive backs left, that he needed to go for it because he couldn't go into overtime. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, the Marlon Humphrey is out for the year. That's going to be a big loss for them.
Yeah.
And yeah, what a gutsy kind of play there. Go for a 2-point conversion. Speaking of the old 2018 Thursday night game where the Chargers walked off on 2-point conversion, sometimes you got to do that, man. When you're kind of hurting, you got to get a win. And why not take it there? But yeah, you said the Ravens and the Browns. The Browns are coming off a bye week, and the Browns I think are 6-6, so they're still in the wild card race there. And the Ravens are fighting for the division or even for the top spot. So I like the Ravens to bounce back there. I think the Browns still have a lot of hiccups. Maybe Baker Mayfield gets a little rested up and healed up during the bye week. But overall, I think the Ravens usually bounce back after a loss. Like they're one of these well-coached teams. They'll figure it out. So, yeah, it could be an interesting matchup. Maybe the Chargers need the Ravens. Well, actually, it's kind of a different point of view because when you're the Chargers, you want the teams behind you to stay behind so you could lock up a playoff spot, but you also want the teams ahead of you to lose to kind of surpass them in the standings. It's a little tricky for them on who to root for.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns. They're at home. I think they're going to come out with some energy. I think that obviously, like you said, if you're the Chargers, you want Baltimore to win. But I just think that Cleveland's going to come out. Their defense is going to get healthy. I got Cleveland winning that one. Las Vegas at Kansas City, Gilbert.
Yeah, this is a good one. Especially for the Chargers' point of view. And you know what's crazy right now? If the playoffs ended today, Fernando, the Chargers will be playing the Chiefs in the wild card round. We'll be going back to KC for barbecue all over again. And I wouldn't mind
Q39 again?
What was that?
Q39 again?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't mind going back for barbecue. That'll be a fun matchup, 4 against 5. But this Chiefs-Raiders battle, though, say the Raiders get it. Maybe they figure it out, man. It could be a golden opportunity for the Chargers to win not to win the division, but at least, surpass them. But regardless of what happens, though, if the Chargers take care of business against the Giants, man, first place would be on the line on Thursday Night Football because of the tiebreaker that the Chargers currently own from the head-to-head. But the Raiders, man, they had an opportunity against the Washington football team. They kind of delivered a clunker on offense. They were at home. They couldn't do it, so right. It's weird though. I keep saying that the one thing I've gotten right, Fernando, this year is the Chiefs have woken up but for like the wrong reasons. Like the offense is still kind of broken, and the defense is really good. So I don't know if I could take full credit for that, but the Chiefs are in a 5-game winning streak. I think they're going to take care of business and beat the Raiders.
I agree with you. I think Kansas City. Now it's about if they're winning that game, you have to come out healthy, and that's going to be the tough part for that Chiefs team is coming out healthy. Just because it's the Raiders, the Raiders are always going to play them hard. So it's going to be one of those tough games where you're going to want to come out as healthy as you can. But obviously, it's going to be a tough game. But I got Kansas City as well. Let's go with this one's going to be interesting. Dallas at Washington, Gilbert. Obviously, Dallas is coming off their victory over New Orleans and Washington's coming over the victory over the Raiders. Don't look now, but Washington's only 2 games behind the Dallas Cowboys for the division, and they play them twice. Who you got?
It's weird. Like I still don't want to buy into Taylor. It's Taylor, not Tyler. Taylor Heineke. I can't even get his name right. I can't buy into it. He has like his moments where he's playing well, then he has his bad moments. So I don't know. I just like the Cowboys. I feel like their defense has gotten better. There's a problem with Zeke Elliott. Maybe he's better this game. Dak Prescott has kind of lost his touch a little bit too. So you know what? I'll just go with the Cowboys. I say they'll keep it rolling just because I've seen Dak at his best, and with Heineke, I don't know, you could kind of reach that level. So if Prescott's on it, man, he figures it out. They should be okay.
I'll go with Washington. I think Washington has something going. I think they're going to scare the Cowboys a little bit, but I still think Dallas wins the division, but I think they're going to scare them this weekend with the win. So I'm going to go Washington this weekend. Wrapping it up with, you know what we'll do? We're gonna do 2 more. Buffalo at Tampa Bay, Gilbert.
I think this is the 2 teams you predicted in the Super Bowl, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and yeah, the Bills are a very confusing team. They're like the Chargers.
They could be 7-6 after this weekend.
Yeah, it's not, and we all thought the Bills were going to be dominant, and they're not. They're far from it. They're looking like an average team, maybe an above average team. They're a wild card team. How do you get beat by Mac Jones only throwing the ball 4 times on Monday Night Football? It was just a weird look overall, and they lost to the Jaguars earlier this year, so I can't trust the Bills, man. Tom Brady is just red hot, beating Father Time every single week. Gronk is back too. The Buccaneers defense is playing like they did last year. I'm taking the Buccaneers on this one.
I'm with you, Gilbert. I think that the Buccaneers will win. I'm going to try and squeeze 2 more into this. San Francisco at Cincinnati.
Where? Or sorry, you say at Cincinnati. Sorry. I said the Bengals bounce back. That was a tough loss against the Chargers. They had a late start, but Burrow and Chase and Mixon, they're a pretty good team.
I'm going to go San Francisco. I think San Francisco comes in there, and I think their defense will hold up, and I'm going to be interested to see how Nick Bosa, now he gets to face Nick Bosa this weekend. I'll go with them. Last one, Los Angeles Rams at Arizona Cardinals.
Damn, some good
Monday Night Football.
We'll
probably be watching at the facility, Gilbert, with it being a short week.
Dang, that's a tough one. You said Monday Night Football, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I can't trust the Rams still. I go Cardinals on this one. Kyler Murray's back. He played great. DeAndre Hopkins looked great too on his way back, and they're at home. Let's go with the Cardinals.
I'm going to go Cardinals as well. I think Cardinals are a well-oiled machine right now. Even when those guys didn't play, they were still winning football games. So I'm going to go with both. I'm going to go Cardinals as well. Now, Gilbert, I sit back and I let you take over. What happened Sunday night? I need to know. Give me the info about the fight on Sunday.
Well, keep in mind, I was on East Coast time. I was debating if I should stay up or not. The fight started at 11:30 p.m. I had a 7 a.m. flight, and of course, I gave in and I watched the fight. I don't know. It was a little boring for me. Isaac Cruz, he's a Mexican, so he had a lot of support at LA Staples Center. But he wasn't throwing enough for me. He wasn't aggressive enough. He had the high guard. He had the gloves up like this most of the time. Kind of a short, stocky guy, so it's kind of hard to throw a punch. And Gervonta Davis was trying everything to throw the kitchen sink at him to knock him out. uppercuts. He didn't throw enough body shots, I thought, but he was throwing hooks and just kind of winding up. And after like round 8, he's like, man, I can't get this guy out. Gervonta starts fading, and then the action is kind of gone, and Cruz wouldn't throw enough, so it wasn't the best fight for me. I know people were giving Gervonta credit because he is known as a puncher, and maybe for him to kind of learn how to, be more of a boxer and how to break somebody down could benefit him in the long run. But Gervonta Davis, man, he's a star, man. He brought the stars to see him in LA for, I guess, the final thing being called Staples Center. What is it, crypto.com now?
Yeah.
I would have loved to cover that fight if I was in the area. I was in Cincinnati, as we know, just to kind of see the star power that he brings. Gervonta, he is a main attraction there with Mayweather company promotion. But overall, the weekend was kind of interesting. The last couple of weekends have been interesting because the lightweight division, Teofimo Lopez lost. Maybe I cursed him having me interview him not too long ago. Remember that, Fernando?
Yep, I do.
He got COVID after that, and he had some issues after that, and then he lost the fight. But Teofimo, losing the belts, man, Gervonta can now potentially be a champion and surpass him. Cambosa became a star in the last 2 weeks. Devin Haney fought the day before Gervonta, and very skilled fighter, good, technically sound defensive fighter, but Devin Haney has no power. He's fighting like a guy, Gervonta Davis, maybe he goes down. But overall, man, I'm excited for the lightweight division, and hopefully these guys start fighting each other. Teofimo, Cambosas, Lomachenko, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Gervonta, man, the lightweight division for me is where the star power is at.
I gotta ask you about one thing, because obviously you mentioned who Gervonta's with. I gotta ask you about this clip that I saw on Sunday real quick.
It's really that they don't want. It's not that they don't want to see Tank win because they feel like it's beating me because I dominated the fight game for so long. But these same writers out here, they praise Canelo. He can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Motherfucker, easy, man. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy.
Is he trying to promote going another time with Canelo? Like what's going on?
No, I just think it's Mayweather's weird way of trying to stay in the spotlight. Canelo Alvarez is the biggest star, and yeah, Mayweather, we know you cooked them, but like, what do you get out of it bringing it up right now?
21 years old.
Yeah, I know it was weird, but no, I'm not taking any credit away from Mayweather. I think he destroyed Canelo Alvarez, and I don't care about his age. That's a good win for him, but I don't get why he's bringing it up now. Like, how does that relate to Gervonta Davis? He was trying to tie it in, and it kind of felt like, remember what I did? Remember me? I'm like, it's your guy's night. It's Gervonta's night. Why are we talking about your old fights? That was a weird thing for me. But Gervonta Davis is an impressive boxer, and I think Mayweather needs to promote him in that way because Gervonta's he's not a big talker. He's kind of he's a little shy, I've noticed. But Mayweather should talk more about him, and I don't know why he's talking about the history with what he did.
Yeah, I thought that was so weird, especially because, I mean, dude, your guy just got done fighting a good fight, but I guess we just don't understand the Mayweather antics even till now. But you know what, Gilbert? It's time. Let's go to our special guest, Ryan Leaf. We have a very special guest. He's a former Chargers quarterback who wasn't too fond of the media back then, but now he's one of us. He's a college football analyst for ESPN and an NFL analyst for SiriusXM. A very warm welcome to Ryan Leaf. Ryan, you have a podcast out that's called Bust. You share your story and you tell us everything that went down with the Chargers and how you got to where you are today. What made you do this podcast?
Well, it's kind of part of what my life has become, right? In terms of telling my story to help others. And when I broached the subject with my producer, Kevin Connolly, I don't know if you guys were Entourage fans, but Kevin played the character E in that show and is incredibly talented behind the scenes, behind the camera, producing and stuff. And we kind of brainstormed an idea. We've never heard really a podcast where somebody simply just steps in front of the mic herself, and tells the honest to God truth and in story form. And we thought people would gravitate towards it. And so we started out and we recorded about, 18 hours of what I essentially do when I travel around the country and I speak. But we did it in a more kind of uncensored and raw format. And it's been incredibly well received. We released the 4th episode today. We have about 6 or 7 more episodes to release over the next few weeks. And we hope that we're helping people who need it, to hear something, to relate to find a solution. It's people consider it a sports podcast, but I don't. I consider it a completely mental health and recovery based podcast.
Yeah, Ryan, I love all the behind the stories that we got, and we kind of remember the kind of the blowups in the locker room, but we never knew what kind of led up to why were you in that mood or what happened, and you kind of gave us the nuggets of behind the scene, the full context of everything that went down. But go ahead, Ryan.
I don't know. I think I was just in that mood all the time
Okay.
back then, so it really didn't matter, I guess. Poor Jay Posner was the guy that had to take the brunt of it.
Yeah, we all remember very well, but not just that, like the way you kind of were raised in Montana, your kind of your attitude there, where you were the shy kid, but you were viewed as a jock. So it was kind of this weird persona you were trying to figure out too. And I love the story about you partying with Warren Sapp and The Rock on your visit to Miami and how that turned out. But overall, it was just some great stories that we didn't know about before. But, first of all, congrats on being sober for the last 7 years and turning your life around and kind of also sharing that, like you mentioned, in terms of mental health for other people to kind of say, hey, I'm kind of going through that in a way too, to see what Ryan has done. I could relate to that. So that's a very, very cool part. But Ryan, I guess for what I want to ask you, the way you started the podcast, you were saying that you're looking at the Rocky Mountains from prison, and that kind of gave you a whole new perspective. Is that kind of the point where you felt like I got to really make a real serious change right here?
No, in that moment, I just felt sorry for myself, right? I'm like, how did I get here? Poor me. I was never anybody that looked at something like, oh, it's time to get this fixed. It was more like, you need to fix it. You're the problem. I'm not the problem. And so it took me a while. It took me to a place in prison where I finally started helping other people. And in a place where you don't see people doing that, it makes it a lot easier to be that version of yourself when you walk out of that prison cell, because it's transformational and you understand that you have to be 180 degrees different than who you were in the past, or nothing's going to change. I was going to be exactly the same person I'd always been. And that was ultimately going to end me right back in prison, or most likely dead.
Wow. Yeah, Ryan, it's kind of a weird path you've taken and ups and downs. And, another thing I really liked about your podcast was just kind of showing how, I guess, the side of how athletic you were. You were saying you're a basketball star. You had all the physical tools. It came to a point in time where there was a real debate about you being the number one overall pick over Peyton Manning because you had the stronger arm. You were more athletic. So it kind of got me thinking, when you kind of compare yourself back then to watching some of the guys now today, the quarterbacks like Josh Allen and Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes, like, are we talking arm strength like that?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't understand how strong my arm was until I was coaching a youngster a few years later in Texas. And I thought he was great. I thought he was one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And I told this scout, I said, he has a stronger arm than I did. And the scout looked at me and said, Ryan, no, he doesn't. And so he scouted me. He saw the process. And I think I was beat over the head so much in my life after my NFL career, where people told me what a terrible quarterback I was, how poor I was, that I just believed it. I forgot that there was any God-given talent, and how I worked at it and got to that place. So it's been really interesting digging it all back up and kind of talking about it, seeing some highlights, things like that of my playing career. I have yet to be back to a Chargers game. I'm going this weekend for the first time with my family. My little 4-year-old son's already got his Justin Herbert jersey all picked out. I'm excited for that. I always felt really lost, because every other NFL player who gets drafted or plays in the league, regardless if they play a season, a game, or whatever, when the Legends weekends happen, and the alumni come back to be a part of something. I didn't have that. And I felt a void there. And the relationship that I've helped reconstruct with the Spanos family and the Chargers, I got invited to their Legends weekend this weekend. So I'm looking forward to it. I have no delusions that I'll probably get booed. That's just the way it goes. But I want to feel something, and I have my son, and I want him to be a part of something like this for our future together, and be able to go back to and celebrate something that was my dream that I realized.
Yeah, for obviously you mentioned Justin Herbert. Fresh off of this weekend, a lot of America got to see two of the top quarterbacks of the 2020 draft get to go head to head. What did you make of the matchup between Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert?
I thought it was incredible. I think both of these teams have a bit of Jekyll and Hyde in them, where you don't quite know who you're going to get every single week. Justin Herbert has struggled a bit against some elite defensive schemes. If you look back at the coaches he's been up against this season, that's where he seemed to have struggled. And he's been incredible on the road. You got to look at his road record and how well he's done when traveling all the way across the country, at Philly, at Cincy this last week. I'm really proud of what the youngster has been able to do. I don't think a lot of people had the same impression of him coming out of college as I did. I thought he was if not the number one guy, he was at least the equivalent of Joe Burrow. And I've really enjoyed seeing him excel and become the franchise's face at the quarterback position in Los Angeles.
Obviously, Ryan, switching out of college football, there's been a lot of madness in college football over the last few weeks. Lincoln Riley goes to USC. Brian Kelly goes to LSU. Cristobal goes to Miami. What do you kind of make of this coaching carousel that has been going on for the last couple of weeks?
Well, the carousel happens every year, regardless. Now, the timing of it all has been undue consequences to the NCAA moving the National Signing Day, where they've moved it up to the second week of December. They've really put teams in a pickle, because you cannot go into the signing period with your recruiting class without a coach, right? If you do, you're most likely going to have a faltered or failed recruiting class, and that can set you back a long time. So I think the unintended consequences of moving that date has made for this carousel to happen. Now, to see the likes of somebody go from Notre Dame to LSU, to see somebody go from Oklahoma to USC, and then a coach from Oregon to go to Miami, that is unfounded, right? To see somebody make what a lot of people would consider maybe a step down, but the money that is involved in the SEC, the money that's involved at USC, right? All of those things. And the Mario Cristobal one yesterday, that was really all about him going home, right? Going back to where he played, where he won a national title, to a community where his heritage is at, all of that. It was just, I don't think you can fault Mario Cristobal at all for taking this opportunity to go back home.
Yeah, Ryan, it was good to see Mario test out the Spanish again in his presser earlier today that I caught. But also, Ryan, obviously, NFL very well in college, but I want to go back to what you mentioned with talking with the Spanos family again. I guess, how did that start? How did you guys kind of mend fences and start communication again?
I'm trying to see when we ran into each other. Oh, the first time was the commissioner of the NFL invited me to a Chargers Philadelphia game. And I was when it was in Carson still, and I was so nervous about it, and I was afraid to walk anywhere. So it was in a private suite. So I went in there to spend it and see the commissioner, talk to him about the things I was doing to help current and former players. And Mr. Spanos, Dean, came into that suite. And I think he was really surprised to see me. And I never thought I'd have an opportunity to make amends, which is a big part of my recovery, to apologize for my part in that terrible fiasco of me being drafted there and playing so poorly and behaving so poorly. I never thought I'd have that opportunity to be in front of the owner of the Chargers to be able to do that. And I think it surprised him so much, he didn't quite know what to say. His response was kind of, it was a long time ago, Ryan. He was very kind. but I think he probably took some time to reflect on it with his family and his wife in particular. And the next time I saw him was on a golf course a couple years later, and we started talking a little bit. And then at the Super Bowl in Miami 2 years ago, him and his wife came up to me. They had watched the documentary that the ESPN had put together, and something had shifted. Something had changed in how they wanted to move forward with me, I think. And so because of COVID, it wasn't available last year, but this year now, the Legends Weekend is this weekend, and I'm excited to take my family to celebrate something that was incredibly important for a little kid from Montana who never should have ever made it to the NFL.
Wow. So when he invited you to this, you're thinking, yeah, for sure. I know it went bad, when you're with the Chargers, and like you mentioned, you might get booed, but it was a kind of a no-brainer. You're going to go back and it felt right for you.
I just felt it was necessary. And I've really come to the realization by using this affirmation over the last 7 years since coming out of prison. What other people think of me is none of my business. So if that's actually truth, if what other people think of me is none of my business, then it doesn't matter if I'm applauded or if I'm booed. It's for the experience for me and my family to be a part of something special, to celebrate that together, and to show my son and tell my son, this is how you handle things. This is how you go about your business, because I was not a good example for kids who looked up to me when I was with the San Diego Chargers, right? I was not a good example. And now I have to be as a father. That is a very personal issue for me. And this was an opportune time to do that.
It's honestly been amazing what you've done, Ryan. I mean, it's just being able to say I was wrong. A lot of people don't like to admit that they were wrong. They don't want to admit that they failed. And for you to come out and say that, that's just been incredible to see. And Ryan, last two for me, but what have you seen from this 2021 Chargers this season?
Well, like I said a little earlier, they've been kind of Jekyll and Hyde, right? Just when you think that they're like going to jump the next level and excel, they kind of come back down to earth, right? Against elite schemers on the defensive side of the football, Vic Fangio, Bill Belichick, right? Justin Herbert and the offense has really struggled. Defensively, I think they've come along and gotten better, mainly because they've stayed healthy. The turnovers they were able to create and get in Cincinnati, I think will go a long way for this team to continue. Getting the Giants this weekend at home, I think, is a bit of a get-right game for them, because the Giants have struggled, right? They're most likely going to have a third-string quarterback starting, and that's some good news for this defense. They can attack and let Justin Herbert in that offensive system. I don't think Austin Eckler is ever going to have a game like that again, where he gives it up a few times, have multiple turnovers. That's not in his DNA. So I think that gets corrected, and I think I'm going to be on hand for a very cool football game on Sunday. They've struggled a little bit at home in SoFi for whatever reason. Yeah. It's a new stadium, just everything that goes with it. I think they have to find a comfort level with that place. It is really an entertainment venue. Yeah. It is. I called the Rams Titans game the other night. It was the first time in that stadium, and it's a beautiful venue. But you have to get used to it and make it your home field advantage, and that may just take a little time for this Chargers team.
Ryan, last one for me. What would it mean if Dad was able to get son to meet Justin Herbert?
I think that he's just gonna be impressed by any guy in a helmet. Like if I grab my Chargers helmet and put it on, he'll love that just the same. He likes the fact. If we're able to get down on the field, he'll just like the fact that he's on the field for an NFL game. I think that's going to be the bigger thing in all of this.
That's going to be awesome for you guys to. Oh yeah, how old is he?
He's only 4, so I don't know if he'll remember it even. So who knows?
Got to take a lot of.
He knows he likes the jersey. He knows he likes the jersey. So that's the best part in all this, right?
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, Ryan, we appreciate you jumping on with us and getting to share more of your story and everything. And we definitely appreciate it. And we hope you have fun this weekend. Hey, some of these legends, they really like to have a lot of fun. Lorenzo Neal, he's been on the show before. He likes to have fun. So be careful for Low Neal. I mean, he's one of the fun guys on one of the funnest legends out there.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
What a great interview with Ryan Leaf. And congrats to him. Hey, big shout out to him being 7 years sober. What an amazing turnaround in his life. He was very open with the Compas, but now it's time for Una Más. Let's see what random shenanigans Fernando has for Herbert for this Una Más. So let's get to Una Más.
Gilbert, Dan Dago was right. What an interview with Ryan Leaf. That was some. I learned a lot definitely from him, and it's incredible that the Spanos family has welcomed him back, and he's going to be there this weekend for the Giants game.
Yeah, I'm actually very curious to see how the reaction he'll get from Chargers fans. He said he thinks he's gonna get booed. He's expecting to get booed. But I don't know, man. I feel like Ryan's kind of turned his life around so much and been so outspoken that people might really respect that. Or maybe it's kind of like friendly kind of boos, like, oh, okay, thank you for being back, but we still kind of remember what happened on the field. So it's gonna be an interesting vibe overall. But I think people really respect him being open and sharing his story because, like he mentioned, it's more about mental health, and people could relate to what he went through and maybe overcome what he had to do in different ways. But still, to hear somebody say what he did really goes a long way.
Yeah, no, and it's all about forgiveness and forgiving people, and that's the thing is that's what I told him, that people don't like to say I messed up, I made a mistake. Ryan's been open about it since he started making after all the mistakes that he had made and everything. He's come out, he's helped athletes, he's tried to reach out to other athletes who are struggling. So I really commend him. I hope the stadium at least cheers for him, or don't. If you're not going to cheer for him, just don't do anything. I mean, I understand the whole booing, but I mean, the guy's really gotten his life together. He's not the same person he was back in the day, and obviously he's changed his life around. So I hope people give him a warm welcome at SoFi this weekend. I mean, Legends Weekend is all about having the guys out there having fun and everything. Don't ruin it by being a knucklehead and booing the guy when he's turned his life around and that's what I commend him for opening up and and talking about him changing his life.
Yeah, and I know it's a little interesting because it's a Legends Day, and you don't think about Ryan Leaf being a legend for the Chargers. But I think it's a good, or a good sign that the Spanos are doing it on this day, because what he had to overcome, it takes, not, I guess I don't want to be cheesy, but it takes stuff of being a legend. You got to, like you mentioned, Fernando, to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm the one that messed up, and take actions for what you did. That's not easy to do. So that's the kind of performance that I think deserves to be on the podium. Yeah, he's not LT in these guys, but just to do what he did, man, not a lot of people can't say they did that in their life.
Yeah, no, 100%. I hope Ryan and his son have a great time this weekend. I mean, you saw how his face lit up when he talked about how his son's gonna have his Justin Herbert jersey, and he's excited for that. So I hope they have a great time, and he gets to know some of the guys that maybe he doesn't know. Like I said, Lorenzo Neal's a guy who's always been awesome. There's some other guys that he's gonna get to know this weekend and meet. I'm sure Sean Merriman will be there, Sean Phillips. Some of these guys, get to know them, get to meet them, because obviously they'll have a good time, and I hope he's embraced within the Chargers community, because he seems like he's a great guy, and he's really turned it around. So I'm hoping that happens.
Yeah, no, definitely. It should be a good weekend there. Was it Giants Chargers, right? SoFi Stadium.
Yep. Now, back to my favorite part. It's always great when we get Una Más, Gilbert, because this is I see Una Más as more of your time, Gilbert. This is for you. I do this for you. So I'm going to start off with, let's see. Oh, this one's funny. All right, Gilbert, let's do, you love those gender reveals, right?
Yeah, they're always a mess.
All right, look at this one.
This is going to be a boy. Wait, what? This is not the right color. They sent me the wrong color. You're lying. No, I'm not lying.
Oh my God.
What? Y'all, I swear.
Oh my God.
Confused.
What? It's pink. It's a girl. What?
There was supposed to be a girl.
It was supposed to be a girl, and they sent her the wrong color. She picked up the wrong color at the store, so it was blue originally, so they all thought they were having a boy, and her best friend goes, "I'm so sorry. It's supposed to be a girl. It's supposed to be pink. They sent me the wrong one."
They couldn't give her this information. Like, hey,
I don't
whatever you
think she
see.
knew.
After you said they picked up the wrong color and they knew that, I don't know.
No. So like with those things, you just like you it's a popper. You just let them pop up.
Yeah, but I thought she picked up the wrong color and she knew that, and she couldn't give her a heads up.
They sent her the wrong, or she picked up the wrong. Like they sent her the wrong ones.
Oh.
You don't know what the color is gonna be until you pop them.
Oh, okay.
So that's why she didn't know until then.
Store. The friend went to the store. They said, you ran out of pink, so take blue.
No. That's not what happened. What happened is they popped them and she expected it to be pink. And she's like, "Oh my God, it's like blue." Like, no, it's the wrong one. It's the wrong
everybody
one.
was surprised.
Yeah. So everybody was surprised by that.
All right. I was confused. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. But
I ruined
I would plan yours.
Huh?
I would plan yours.
You'll probably mess it up too.
No, I would not. It'd be good. Dan and Dago and I will do a great job with it.
First of all, I wouldn't do one. They're stupid, but
they're fun. Look at that. You get good videos, good chaos.
I will not do that.
You get a laugh at it.
See that. No, I'm good.
All right.
I'll announce it to the world later on what it is.
I'll do that with a gender reveal.
Look at this. You're the type. You love attention.
No, I don't.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
It's
a video of this lady, like she's going up and she kicked the wig off of a dummy, and she's like literally like kicking it, like killing a dummy. She's like doing karate and stuff, but she even looks at the camera and goes, bang, look at that.
That was a don't mess with me look into the camera.
It was. Look at that, Gilbert. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, she even had she had the crotch kick too. I saw that.
Oh yeah, no, she's vicious.
Casually did that one.
Yeah. Look at that.
Looks like the dummy's dancing now.
No, it does. But it's funny because it like reminds me of the way Jackie Chan, like, you know how in movies Jackie Chan's like, blah, 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 like literally doesn't even put his leg down when he's kicking, and like this chick is doing the exact same thing, like boom, 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 like knock the wig off of it.
Somebody said in the comments, knock the toupee off, bro.
That's hilarious. Not my finest one, but I thought that was pretty funny.
Better than the gender reveal.
Are you, Gilbert, looking to pick up extra money during Christmas to try and buy gifts for the people that you care about the most?
Actually, I am. It's that time of year where I have 3 siblings with birthdays in December, and they all want the birthday gift and the Christmas gift. So yeah, I am.
Bro, I have a job just for you.
What do you got for me?
No, there's a shortage of Santas.
Oh, wow.
This holiday season, Gilbert, you could be a Santa Claus and you could make extra money to buy gifts for your relatives. I don't know, but I'm just telling you that there's a shortage of that. Can you imagine? You'd be, well, I don't know how you do as a Santa Claus. You'd have to say, let me hear your ho ho ho.
No, I'll be like Bad Santa.
Merry Christmas.
It sounds like you already done this before, Fernando. So.
I have not. You know what? I would do it. Like if I had like little nieces and nephews that would come over and stuff, I would dress up as Santa Claus and do the whole bit because I love to see kids smile. And then Dan and Dago would come in with the Grinch outfit and try and steal the present. So that'd be an interesting. Then we would turn it into a lucha libre, Santa Claus versus the Grinch in an ultimate wrestling match.
All right, I would like to see that, but if it's me, I'll be more like the Billy Bob Thornton Bad Santa.
Bad Santa.
Yeah,
that'd be a funny one to see.
But I want to know how much though. I'm actually intrigued now. How much would I be making?
I don't think it says. Let me see. Look at that. That could be you. Yeah, I don't know how much Santa Claus make.
You got to find that out for me by tomorrow.
All right, I will. Yeah, I'll find that out. Last one. You like Little John?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Terrible. Yeah.
All right. Well, I found this on TikTok. Now we're even going to TikTok, Gilbert. I don't know if you've seen this yet.
TikTok on a laptop?
Let me see you do it. Hey, let me see you do it. Hey, snap your bangles, do your step. You can do it all by yourself.
Can you describe to our audio people, Fernando? Come on.
Let me see you
Hold on, wait for it.
Hey, snap your bangles, then rock with it. Do it, go.
That's pretty cool.
Do a step with it. Put your hips with it. All my ladies, let's.
Isn't that like that? So basically, this guy in Houston, Houston, Texans or Texas, Houston Texans, Houston, Texas. He decorated his home, and obviously he did it to the sound of "Snap Your Fingers" by Little John. So it's just hilarious the way like the lights and everything go in unison according to the song, but it's just hilarious the way everything moves. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. That dude's bill is gonna be up the yin yang with all that. With that, like, look at all those lights. Like, it's just funny to see though. But Gilbert, could you see yourself decorating your house that way?
No, because I don't have the effort, or I'm not that creative, or I can't do a lot of stuff like that. So I like seeing it though. It's pretty cool to see. Yeah, I like it.
No, it's awesome, and it's gained a lot of like this TikTok person. I think got what did they get? Over 3.5 million likes. So they're
Wow.
probably at like what 15 million views.
Damn.
So
That's gonna be a high energy bill though. But
it is.
January.
But it's worth it, bro. If it's the holidays, it's worth it.
Yeah, that guy's probably picking up a shift as a Santa though to pay that.
Oh, there
bill.
you go. Who knows? But yeah, they all these news outlets did stories on them and stuff, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I just love the way like the synergy. That's what I like also about Christmas is the lights, the creativity that people do. I remember over by our old house, this guy used to decorate for Halloween, and he put like Chucky dolls and all this other stuff. Like, it was honestly awesome. Some other houses do it for Christmas. Obviously, like my mom loves decorating for Christmas, so the house is all winter wonderland up.
Do you help out with that, Fernando?
Of course I do. Well, I try and help as much as I can, but yeah, no, it's honestly hilarious. But I love decorating. I think it's fun. I love getting to, and then what sucks right now is that Melissa's not here, so she's still in school, so we haven't 100% done the traditions that we do. I haven't watched the Santa Claus yet. Ooh, that's what we're gonna do next week. Oh, never mind, I shouldn't give it away. But I definitely I love watching my Christmas movies. I haven't gotten to watch it yet. The Santa Claus, Jingle All the Way, Home Alone 1 and 2. Like
Where do you find time to watch the movies, Fernando?
I don't know what that's the problem.
You're a football writer. You work during the holidays.
No, I know when. The weekend after the Thursday night game.
All right, you actually gotta go weekend there to binge.
That weekend I'm gonna be able to do it, and then obviously I have to go watch Spider-Man, which I'll have a review for in 2 weeks because I am excited for Spider-Man.
You keep talking about Spider-Man, you get into a point where you want the Chargers to accommodate you.
I do. No, and I have to ask the question: is Brandon gonna speak after the Chiefs game the day after? Fernando, why do you want to know that? Because I have to know if I can't go to see the movie until after Brandon is done talking.
I already told you, play it safe and get an 8 a.m. showing on Friday, and then you'll be out.
There's no 8. There's only 9. Do you think I'd make it back in 9?
Yeah,
it's a 2-hour.
If the schedule stays the same, with the Brandon Staley, but the day after the game. So usually they're 1 o'clock. So if the schedule stays the same, you're good.
Okay, then I hope it does stay the same because I need to go see what happens. Are we gonna get 3 Spider-Mans? Are we gonna get more villains on top of the 5 that we already have? I need to know all these things. What's gonna happen to Mary Jane? What's gonna happen to Happy? What's gonna happen to his Aunt May? I need to know what's gonna happen with this. And the movie comes out the night of the Chiefs and Chargers game, and I'm gonna be antsy, and I'm gonna try and stay off of social media, because I don't need any of these guys doing that to me.
Fernando.
Who was it? There was somebody that gave it away a couple of years ago. Was it? It was LaShawn McCoy gave up that that Robert Downey Jr. dies in Endgame. What kind of a human being does that?
All right, I was gonna give you flack for rushing to see a movie on the day it comes out, where it's gonna be available the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. Less people around. And I get it. You have to watch it right away, Fernando, whatever you're doing with your fingers. But yes, social media has tend to be.
I have all the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, Fernando, you need to grow up one day and stop playing with toys.
I won't.
But yes, you're right. People who spoil stuff on social media are evil, terrible people. So go watch your movie right away to avoid those people.
I have to. But obviously, guys, we appreciate you guys. Another great episode. We appreciate you guys listening. this week we will have our preview show. Obviously, after the game, we will do our post game like we have been doing this season. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. We're having a lot of fun. It is the Christmas season, Gilbert. I ordered something, Gilbert, that maybe I'll have the week of Christmas on the show. I am excited for it. You know what? I should get you a Santa's helper, an elf hat. Would you wear it the whole show?
No.
Oh, why?
But I will for a couple minutes. I'll give you that.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I might get you one.
You said
Then.
the whole show. You can't get me with that.
Okay, well, all right. I won't make you wear it the whole show. But we appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Thank you guys so much. Gilbert, you know what? It's time. Vámonos.
We're on the week 14, Fernando. The season is moving along, so time to go. Ya nos vamos, pues vámonos.